This morning, a DeForest neighborhood is on alert after a teenager is arrested for allegedly breaking into a home and sexually assaulting a toddler.
And Hurricane Dorian is nearing the Carolinas as a Category 3 storm this morning. We'll share what volunteers from Wisconsin had to say before heading down to help.
Plus, we've got your exclusive public market preview, a first look at the plans to be revealed at a special meeting tonight.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us on this Thursday, September 5th. If you haven't looked outside, you should, because that sunrise is spectacular. It's good to see that sun again.
It really is. Yeah, we didn't see a lot of it yesterday, so it's nice to see clear skies this morning. Take a live look from the WISC-TV sky cam. Won't make you wait any longer. It's a beautiful shot this morning. We have the sun coming up at 6:26 this morning. Skies are clear, so nice color on the horizon already today. We are dealing with a little bit of fog, though, especially west of Madison. Visibility is down to less than a mile in Mineral Point now, and also about a quarter of a mile through the Wisconsin River Valley. Temperatures are quite chilly as well. If you slept with the windows open, you may be looking for that extra blanket this morning. We have dropped to 48 now in Madison and Janesville, down to 45 in Watertown and 46 in the Dells. Despite the chilly start, it's actually going to be warmer today than it was yesterday. Sunshine and a south wind will bump high temperatures back into the mid-70s. That's almost 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. Let's take a look at that first alert traffic report early this morning. We're not dealing with any major issues. You want to grab the sunglasses, though. You'll want them today, especially for driving east this morning. No major accidents to report. Looks like travel is still going at posted speeds heading into Madison.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't had to break out the sunglasses for quite some time.
No, do you remember where they are?
I don't know. I'll have to dust them off a little bit.
Even when it's like dusk. I love putting the shades on, so I keep them.
Do you wear your sunglasses at night, too?
Not totally at night, but
the future's bright.
Exactly, all the time.
All right, Hads, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, breaking into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, a man is recovering after being stabbed on Willie Street overnight. Police say a man and a woman were walking a few blocks from McPike Park when a suspect walked up behind the man and stabbed him in the shoulder with a 3-inch long folding knife. The man was taken to a hospital and given stitches. The suspect was later found and arrested for first-degree recklessly endangering safety. The man accused of stabbing a Madison woman to death is due in court this morning. 58-year-old Lou Jefferson faces a charge of first-degree intentional homicide and the stabbing death of 30-year-old Amanda Woods. Authorities say Jefferson stabbed Woods following a dispute over drugs. Police say it was Madison's first homicide of the year. Jefferson is currently being held in the Dane County Jail on a $1 million bond. His preliminary hearing is set for 8:30 this morning.
Time right now is 6:03. DeForest residents are watching their kids a little closer this morning. That's after police say over the weekend a teenager who lived near Valeria Drive broke into one of the homes nearby and sexually assaulted a child. Police arrested 17-year-old Eduardo Munez Salinas after he admitted to walking through the front door of a home, crawling into a crib with a 2-year-old girl, and assaulting her. Police say he also sat on a neighbor's front porch and performed a sex act. Now community members say they don't feel safe in their neighborhood.
Just floored by what has happened down the street, and it's too close to home, very too close to home.
Though Munez Salinas is 17, he's being charged as an adult. Police said they were able to track him down so quickly because he left a pill bottle with his name on it in one of the homes. Even though they found Munez, they're not done investigating. If you have any more information that could be useful for this case, contact DeForest Police.
New this morning, a Milwaukee high school teacher is facing felony counts of human trafficking and second-degree sexual assault after an alleged romantic encounter gone wrong. Christian Mothershead reportedly brought a woman and her child from the Philippines to live with him in the U.S., forcing them to clean his home. He met the woman online in June of 2017 and promised that he'd enroll her kids in school, take care of the family, and get married. But when they came to the U.S., the criminal complaint says they were forced to clean nonstop, live in terrible conditions, and treated like servants. A parent whose student goes to the school where Mothershead teaches says she is shocked.
It makes me kind of wonder if there are any other teachers who are participating in those type of things, you know, when that incident took place. But it just makes you wonder, like, what else are they hiding?
Mothershead was a Chinese language teacher at Hamilton High, but MPS says he's currently on unpaid leave. He was also an Uber driver. If convicted, Mothershead could face up to 90 years in prison.
A 10-year-old Wisconsin girl accused of killing a baby last year is being ruled incompetent to stand trial. The girl appeared in court Wednesday, where doctors testified that she is less competent now than she had been before. Her attorney says she's regressed because she's being held in an adult jail instead of a juvenile unit. The judge approved a request for transfer and said that while she isn't considered competent now, she could become competent again if she takes medication and classes. The girl is accused of dropping a 6-month-old baby and stomping on his head at a daycare last October. She's due back in court in October.
An update now to a story we've been covering since February. A man who admitted to attacking a UW-Madison student earlier this year will serve 7 years in prison. A judge sentenced 23-year-old Jerome Winslow yesterday and added 5 years extended supervision. Winslow pleaded guilty to 3 felony charges back in June, 2 counts of recklessly endangering safety and a substantial battery charge. Court documents show Winslow punched a woman on Langdon Street and dragged her away, causing severe facial injuries that required surgery. The judge called Winslow, quote, a dangerous person.
Time right now is 6:06. Hurricane Dorian is making its way up the southeastern coast as a Category 3 hurricane this morning after gaining strength overnight. The National Weather Hurricane Center is warning of a life-threatening storm surge along hundreds of miles of the southeast coast. This is a live look at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the storm is expected to pass later today. The governor there ordering the state's entire coast, some 800,000 people, to evacuate. Meanwhile, in the Bahamas, the Prime Minister says 20 people are now confirmed dead as a result of Dorian, and that number is only expected to rise in the coming days.
Nearly 3 dozen Red Cross volunteers from Wisconsin are heading towards the storm this morning. Ryan Clancy is one of them. He's on his way to South Carolina. We heard from him just before he got on a plane in Milwaukee. Clancy says he's volunteered for hurricane relief efforts before, but this time will be the first time he'll go before the storm even hits the destination.
It is a much different experience than what I've had before, but I know that I can help, and I'm looking. I think the most important quality is to be flexible. So I don't know what I'm getting into, but I know that I can help when I'm there.
Emergency management officials say there is already flooding in downtown Charleston, South Carolina that began overnight.
If you're looking to help those affected by Hurricane Dorian, you'll want to make sure your money is being sent to the right places. The Better Business Bureau wants to make sure you're only giving to experienced disaster relief organizations. You can do that by verifying the trustworthiness of soliciting relief organizations by visiting give.org. See if the charity has an on-the-ground presence in the impacted areas. Find out if the charity is providing direct aid, and also do your research on crowdfunding to make sure you understand how it works exactly. For more ways to avoid being scammed, just visit the BBB's website.
More local news now. Madisonians have a chance to check out the city's latest plans for the upcoming $13 million public market tonight.
Yeah, when the city hosted its first open house back in May, more than 1,000 people attended. Christina Laurie joins us live downtown this morning with an exclusive first look. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Josh and Keely. Madison's public market is still on track to open 2 years from now. Anticipation, though, has been building for years. And this morning, we're getting an exclusive first look at some new design plans for the market. Hannah Molinitsky from the City of Madison Engineering Department, thanks for joining us this morning to talk about this. You also brought this nice, colorful poster that we want to talk about. Yes. So what are we looking at?
So this is the closest look at closest to the designs that we will be seeing, especially when you walk into the Madison public market. So on the left-hand side, you'll see there's opportunity for outdoor plaza and a patio area where everyone will be able to enjoy some of the goodies from inside and really enjoy the good weather. We hope will just, sunshine right down on our public market. On the right-hand side, there will be opportunity for anybody to park their bikes. A nice bike ride to the public market sounds pretty nice. And then in the middle, you'll see there's opportunity for pop-up vendors, which we haven't selected yet, but we know that there will be opportunity for, crafts, food, produce, anything like that. And then behind that pop-up vendor part of the render, you can see that there are large murals we don't know exactly what the murals will be, but we know that when people walk into the Madison Public Market, they're going to see some beautiful local murals that we know are very Madison-centric. And then also the signage. So this is the closest to what you will see, Madison Public Market, what it will look like when you walk in and hopefully enjoy this market we're anticipating, 500,000 visitors a year.
Wow, and this is just some of what's going to be revealed tonight. I want to tease what's coming up at 6:30. We're going to head inside the market. This is just a sneak peek of the plans, but I'm going to cover up the rest for now. Josh and Keely.
All right.
Sneaky.
Yeah, you are sneaky, Christina. We'll see you coming up to set for 6:30. Thank you.
Well, farmers will soon have an increased access to mental health resources. The legislators' Joint Finance Committee unanimously authorized the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, known as DACCAP, to spend money to help farmers cope with mental health problems. $200,000 was allocated for that purpose in the state budget, but DACCAP needed authorization to spend it. DACCAP Secretary Brad Pfaff says the department will use the money for counseling vouchers, stress management workshops, and teaching mental health care providers about farmers' challenges.
Farmers do have their own language, their own terminology. They communicate in their own particular way, and they don't have a lot of people to turn to. And they live isolated. Their nearest neighbor may be a quarter of a mile, a couple miles down the road. And where do they go? Who do they talk to?
More farmers are struggling with mental health issues as the industry shifts to factory farm models, milk prices continue to fall, and President Trump's trade war escalates.
All right, coming up on 12 minutes past 6 o'clock, and there's more local news ahead for us this morning, including how President Trump's plans for a border wall is putting a military project in the Madison area on hold. We'll have reaction.
But first, Hattie has a really nice day in store for us with plenty of sun once the morning fog clears out. She's in next with our first alert forecast. Thanks for starting your day with News 3 Now this morning.
Go to
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. It's getting a little chilly outside this morning. I can see my breath. The temperatures have dropped into the 40s. And speaking of chilly, with the lack of sunshine yesterday, highs were only in the 60s across much of the Badger State. Good news, though, 70s weren't that far away. And today, with sunshine and a southerly wind, we should be a little bit closer to some of those numbers that you're seeing in Iowa from yesterday. Mid-70s are expected here. Things are pretty quiet around southern Wisconsin this morning. Skies are mostly clear. There is some rain well up to our north across northern Minnesota this morning. That'll just impact the northern part of the state early today. Otherwise, our chance for rain will hold off until most likely after dark tonight. A live look from the Edgewater Sky Cam showing you clear skies over downtown Madison as the sun comes up this morning. There is some fog to tell you about, though. Visibility is less than a mile west of Madison. Areas like Mount Horeb and Blue Mounds may be dealing with some fog this morning, as well as the Wisconsin River Valley and Mineral Point. So be aware of that fog situation. Temperatures were cold yesterday morning, but they're even colder this morning by about 10 to 15 degrees in some spots. Take a look at those numbers. From Madison and points to the north and east, temps have dropped into the 40s. 48 here in Madison and Janesville, 45 in Watertown, 46 in the Dells. To the south and west, temperatures are at least in the low 50s in most spots. Winds are calm, though, so not much of a wind factor early this morning. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. That fog should dissipate as the sun comes up this morning. Temperatures will climb into the upper 60s by lunchtime today, then head into the 70s as a warm front moves through this afternoon. So definitely going to be warmer than it was yesterday. A cold front moves in tonight, though, and that brings more cloud cover as well as a chance for some showers or even an isolated thunderstorm overnight for all of southern Wisconsin. No severe weather is expected, though, overnight. Clouds early on Friday will clear, setting us up for some sunshine for the afternoon. Just a little bit cooler tomorrow, but barely noticeable. We'll stay in the 70s then on Saturday, but rain chances return Saturday night into Sunday, and then temperatures drop back into the upper 60s for the second half of the weekend. It's time now to get a look at your traffic maps this morning. Jason Stone has the car keys. We'll send it over to him for all the details. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Both sides of the Beltline are moving at the posted speed limit with no issues as drivers are starting their commute. There is some brake lights on Verona Road. Otherwise, all routes into Madison and around Dane County are clear at this time. And just a few spots of moderate traffic on East Wash near the intersections. Nothing of concern elsewhere downtown or on campus. With your First Alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Jason and Hattie, thank you both very much. We are just over a year before the 2020 election, and a new poll shows President Donald Trump's approval rating here in Wisconsin. Right now, it's sitting below 50%. The Marquette Law School poll released Wednesday shows 45% approve of the job the president is doing, while 53% disapprove. The poll also shows Democrat Joe Biden with a 9-point lead over President Trump, the strongest showing of any Democratic candidate. Wisconsin is one of a small number of states expected to determine the outcome of the 2020 election.
The impact of President Trump's plan to fund border fencing projects is being felt here in Madison. The Department of Defense approved diverting $3.6 billion from 127 military construction projects to the wall earlier this week. One of those projects being affected is a small arms range at the 115th Truax Field. Construction on the $8 million project was slated to begin next year. A spokesperson for Representative Mark Pocan, who represents Madison, says this money being diverted from the military is unconstitutional. He goes on to say the $8 million being taken away from Truax is weakening our military preparedness and jeopardizing the strength of our armed forces.
Representative Pocan also slamming the president for his ongoing trade war with China. In a news conference, Pocan touched on a variety of topics Congress hopes to pick up when it comes back from break. On top of that list, increasing tariffs.
There can be effective uses of targeted tariffs. Someone's dumping cheap steel into a country, you got to protect your industry. There's a way you might want to do that to protect an industry. But the way we're doing it via tweet, via impulse, is not working well.
Pocan says the trade wars are hurting Wisconsin farmers. On the last package of farmer assistance bills, Pocan said soybean farmers were getting 50 cents on the dollar, dairy farmers got pennies, and corn growers got 1 cent on the dollar for their goods.
Still ahead, the Badgers' home opener is this Saturday, but the football team isn't the only one making its debut in front of the home fans this weekend. We introduce you to UW's new band director and show you how he's getting ready for his first halftime show.
But first, Hattie's tracking more sunshine in her bus stop forecast. That's right after this. Look at that sunrise there. Keep watching News 3 Now this morning.
Cobra's
Welcome back. You are taking a live look at a very beautiful sunrise over downtown Madison.
I love that. I feel like we haven't seen the sunshine in forever, Hattie.
I know, it's been like a day, but
it feels like forever.
It's a long time, right, when you don't see the sunshine. Today should be a much nicer day than yesterday. Some parts of the area, though, may have trouble seeing that sunrise through the Wisconsin River Valley. Fog is down to, or has reduced visibility less than a mile. Also likely dealing with some fog in western parts of Dane County. So be aware of that situation early this morning. Otherwise, as you go east of Madison, we're not dealing with any fog this morning. It is cooler this morning than it was yesterday. Remind those kids they may want a sweatshirt or a jacket this morning. Here's a look at the actual air temperatures. This is below normal for this time of the year. 48 in Madison, 48 in Janesville, 45 in Watertown, and 45 in the Dells. Normally, we would at least stay in the 50s. The bus stop weather forecast, though, as a bus drops you off at school, temperatures will be back into the 50s. We will climb into the 70s today, so warmer than yesterday with lots of sunshine. Have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you, Hattie. Today is the big day Packers and Bears fans have been waiting for months. The NFL's 100th season kicks off tonight at Soldier Field in Chicago. This is a live look at downtown Chicago this morning. There's an entire day's worth of fan events and concerts scheduled for today, leading up to the big game tonight.
The Packers will be looking to take back the NFC North from the Bears and make the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Meanwhile, the Bears are looking for another strong season after going 12-4 last year, but losing in the playoffs on a missed field goal that's become known as the double doink. Kickoff is set for 7:20 tonight. The News 3 Now sports team is headed down to Chicago and will have coverage all day leading up to the game. We'll, of course, have all of the post-game reaction tomorrow right here on News 3 Now this morning.
And as the Packers get ready for their debut, UW-Madison's new band director is getting ready for his first game at Camp Randall. We've been waiting to meet Dr. Corey Pompey since former band director Mike LaCrone announced he was stepping down. And yesterday we got to meet him and even sit in on a practice. He said he's not looking forward to the Wisconsin winters, but is so excited to work with such a talented band. Pompey is keeping the traditional stop at the top move and the fifth quarter, but he does plan to add some things to the fifth quarter as the year goes on.
For our first show, you can expect a little bit of Beyonce, The Killers, Jonas Brothers, and Adele, and all four of those tunes will be done in 3.5 minutes, but we'll touch each one of those things. The second show, we're planning to do a funk show.
What a lineup. Looking forward to that. He said he probably won't be flying in from the ceiling like LaCrone did, but he's adding some big production values to future performances. Some exciting shows to look forward to.
Looking forward to that. All right, still ahead on News 3 Now this morning. We've got the top 3 things you need to know this morning before you head out the door. Also ahead, we've got a News 3 Now exclusive as we get our first look at the plans for the new Madison Public Market. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we will be right back.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for staying with us on this Thursday, September 5th. And after a bit of a foggy start, a really gorgeous sunrise to begin with, Hattie.
Yeah, we haven't had much fog here in Madison, so we have a beautiful view of the sunrise. There is some fog, though, in some parts, so I'll tell you about that in just a second.
All right, Hattie, we'll see you then. First, let's get to the top 3 things that you need to know on this Thursday morning. The NFL season kicks off tonight with the league's oldest rivalry. The Packers will be looking to take back the NFC North from the Bears and make the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Meanwhile, the Bears are looking for another strong season after going 12-4 last year, but losing in the playoffs on that missed field goal that's become known as the double doink. That is quite the name. Kickoff is set for 7:20 tonight.
And one body is still missing from the sunken wreckage off Santa Cruz Island in Southern California. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff said fire above deck blocked the one stairway and emergency exit hatch, trapping and killing the dozens of passengers and crew members who were sleeping below the deck. A marine biologist from Sheboygan County is one of the victims.
Hurricane Dorian is slowly making its way up the southeastern U.S. coast this morning after strengthening to a Category 3 storm overnight. Areas in South Carolina are already experiencing some flooding this morning, while Florida has largely been spared. Millions could still be severely impacted from Georgia to the southeastern part of Virginia. Now to the Bahamas, where 20 people are now confirmed dead as a result of that storm.
Oh my goodness. Well, those are the top 3 things you need to know to start your day. And Hattie is here now with a look at your weather and traffic. Hi, Hattie.
Good morning, Keely and Josh. Well, as you head out the door this morning, you definitely want the sunglasses. Skies are clear here in Madison and across most of southern Wisconsin. We do have a lot of low-level cloudiness, though, west of Madison. That's dropping visibility to less than a mile in several locations. So be careful with the fog early this morning. Sunshine should take care of the fog. We are starting off, though, on a rather cool note. Temperatures still at 52 in Lone Rock and Mineral Point, but has dropped to 48 here in Madison and Janesville, down to 45 in the Dells. So a bit of a chilly start. Temps, though, with the sunshine and south winds today, will be back into the mid-70s later on this afternoon. Let's get a peek at those traffic maps. We'll see if anything has changed around the area. There is an accident. This is just west of Fort Atkinson that has the road closed. That's Highway 106, the eastbound side, closed west of Fort Atkinson this morning. So right around that area if that is in your neighborhood. Otherwise, here in Madison, some brake lights starting to show up on the belt line at Stoughton Road. No other major delays, though, in the area. That's your first look traffic.
All right, thank you, Hattie. After years of planning and lots of public input, you can now get a first glimpse of the upcoming Madison Public Market.
The city is unveiling those plans tonight, but this morning, only our Christina Laurie is getting a sneak peek at those plans. She was hiding them from us last half hour. So, Christina, take it away.
I'm now ready to unveil, or at least Hannah Molenitsky from the City of Madison Engineering Department is. So last half hour, we checked out the outside look of the public market. Now we're going inside. Can we talk about these plans?
Yes, so tonight at our public information meeting, we will have more renderings of the outside and inside. We'll also have floor plans like this one. So this shows the entire first floor of the Madison Public Market. So you'll see the entry hall on the side there on the left-hand side, the main hall, and then the south hall. The entry hall will have vendors and merchants. You can see the entryway will be where these little arrows, teal arrows are. When people walk into the Madison Public Market, it's going to be like, you know, other public markets you've been to, but ours is the largest and most unique in the Midwest, so we're excited about that. And it's 45,000 square feet, so it's pretty big. So, and then in the middle you can see there's the mezzanine, so there'll be a market kitchen for merchants and vendors to use, whoever is selected to be in the space. And then on the right-hand side here you see the South Hall. There's a lot of flexibility there. Winter farmers markets, musical guests, indoor car shows, you name it, lots of flexibility there to really have some fun. I like to call it the fun space. So it's pretty exciting.
It's really exciting for the City of Madison. What does the public market, what will it mean for the people here? Because we're so invested in outdoor activities, green spaces, someplace to bike to.
Yeah, so, I mean, in May we had our open house and over 1,000 people showed up. You know, this is going to bring in millions, $21 million annually in local funds just by being here. So we are expecting to make an impact on the community, but we also want to listen to the community, which brings us to our public meeting tonight, where people are going to have the chance to really show what they want, tell us what they want, because in the end it really is for our community. So we would love for people to come down, downtown Madison Municipal Building at 6 p.m. That's when we'll get started, and really have all the resources you need to really learn more about who put all this together, what it's going to look like, and really the next steps in this process, because we are excited for 2021.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Hannah. And that meeting will be tonight in room 215 here at the Madison Municipal Building. And if you can't make it out to the meeting, it will be live streamed. Josh and Keely.
All right, Christina Laurie with the News 3 Now exclusive this morning here. Christina, thank you very much.
I'm usually reporting, so that's fair. Thank you, Christina. Well, coming up in the morning sprint, the Boeing 737 MAX may be back in the air soon. See the plan for passengers who wish to avoid the aircraft.
And we've got a heartwarming story about how a boy in Arkansas is trying to help honor his uncle's memory. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back. All right, we've been asking you to share your morning with us, and Tara Nelson posted this flower pic on our Facebook page. Look at that color there.
And artsy. She's like on the ground taking that nice shot upward.
She's getting down low to the ground there.
Love it. Well, if you have a photo that you want to share with us, you can go ahead and send it to us on Facebook or on our Twitter. We will share our favorites right here on News 3 Now this morning.
One of our favorite things to do.
Well, a very sweet story out of Arkansas this morning. 10-year-old Daniel Crace has been standing outside of a Quick Way gas station selling his toys for the last 3 days.
He's out trying to help raise funds to pay for his uncle's funeral. Daniel says he won't stop until he raises enough money.
Said, Nanny, I want to raise money for my Uncle Brian. And I said, baby, I don't know how to do that. He said, I do.
How sweet is that? Daniel's grandmother says he and his Uncle Brian were inseparable. Uncle Brian died from a heart attack, and now Daniel is doing what he can to help pay for the funeral expenses. So far, Daniel has raised $400, and he says his goal is $5,000.
I have a feeling that Daniel is going to get a lot of help from a lot of people after, this gets on our air, and I'm sure many other stations across the country.
How precious is that? And I know we mention this all the time, but how cool those kiddos are and how they kind of take those things in their control.
Yeah,
and
they're like, I'm going to handle this.
Yeah, the difference they make, it's so cool. Good job.
Good job, Daniel. Well, Hattie is tracking some possible thunderstorms later this evening, and she'll have a first look at your weekend forecast up next.
But first, it is Thursday, September 5th, and we want to say happy birthday to Jamison and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us early and starting your day on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 6:44 on a Thursday morning. Live look at the sunrise.
I know school is starting, but that looks like a summer sunrise.
That does look like a summer sunrise, but it feels like fall outside though.
Oh, don't say that, Josh.
It's like a window forecast. It looks better and then you step outside and then it's a little chilly, but really not bad. We can't complain, Hattie.
No, we're not going to complain yet because it's going to get only colder as we go through the coming months. A cold start this morning, but temperatures will warm nicely. Sunshine behind us this morning, but we'll start with Hurricane Dorian. Still a Category 3 storm that is churning just about 80 miles south-southeast of Charleston, South Carolina. You can see the bands of rain moving onshore out ahead of this system. It is going to continue to move to the north-northeast through the day today, but already some tornado watches have been issued. There is the potential that this storm may spawn some tornadoes. Here's a look at the rain amounts. Again, rain is going to be very heavy right along the coastline. You can see how those amounts ramp up pretty quickly from just over an inch in Raleigh to over 5 inches possible in Wilmington. Some spots may get even more rain as well. Some of those local amounts may be even higher. Now, here's a look at the watches and warnings that are in effect. We have hurricane warnings for the coastline and hurricane or tropical storm warnings rather that extend all the way into Virginia for the next couple of days with this storm system. The good news is that the speed will increase, so it's going to start to move a little bit more quickly. But again, still, as I mentioned, a Category 3 storm. It strengthened last night. Winds are around 115 miles an hour. The threshold for a Category 3 storm is 111 mile an hour winds, so it's just above that threshold. It is moving to the north at 7 miles an hour currently. It's expected to turn more northeast over the next 12 hours, but still stay a strong Category 2 storm with maximum winds at 110 miles an hour. Some gusts may be even higher. You see how close it gets to the shoreline. Even if it doesn't make an official landfall, the effects of this hurricane will be felt through the day today, right through Friday, as it passes very close to North Carolina. Late Friday into Saturday, then it moves further out into the Atlantic and stays a little bit farther away from the northeastern corner of the country. Now, by contrast, we are much quieter around here. We've been talking about the beautiful sunrise this morning. Skies are clear. We'll watch a warm front that moves through later on today. Likely a dry frontal passage with that one, but it will warm us up a little bit more than yesterday. Take a look at those current temperatures. Little chilly for the Badger State with 40s this morning. Contrast that with 60s, close to 70 out to the west. So there's quite a difference in temperature. Here in southern Wisconsin, again, chilly in the Dells, 45. Prairie du Chine's down to 49 degrees. Here in Madison, we're at 48. Any fog this morning will dissipate as we go through the day today. Look for mostly sunny skies this afternoon with high temperatures back into the mid-70s. Now, we do have a chance for rain coming tonight, and that'll mainly be overnight. A few showers or an isolated thunderstorm. Otherwise, temperatures will stay in the 70s as we head towards tomorrow. Any threat for rain ends early as skies clear for Friday with a high of 73. And we'll keep temps in the 70s on Saturday, but it looks like Sunday will be the coolest day of the weekend with some rain and highs back in the 60s. Here's a look at our Pet Walk forecast. Reba in Deerfield.
Reba.
Ready to play ball.
She is perfectly appropriate for all the sporting events that we have tonight.
That's true. Baseball, football starting tonight.
Busy day.
Well, thank you so much, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us for the morning sprint, but first, here's Dana Jacobson with what's ahead at 7. Dana, good morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, Tony DeCopel leads our coverage of Hurricane Dorian from Charleston, South Carolina. He will speak with the city's mayor about what could become life-threatening storm surge and historic flooding. Plus, one-on-one with Andrew Yang in a CBS This Morning broadcast exclusive with Anthony Mason. The presidential hopeful defends his plan to give every American adult $1,000 a month. We'll see you at 7.
6:51, time for the morning sprint as we get your Thursday started with the most local news.
We begin with breaking news in Madison overnight. A man is recovering this morning after being stabbed on Willie Street. Police say a man and a woman were walking a few blocks from McPike Park when a suspect walked up behind the man and stabbed him in the shoulder with a 3-inch long folding knife. The man was taken to a hospital and given stitches. The suspect was later found and arrested for first-degree recklessly endangering safety.
The man accused of stabbing a Madison woman to death is due in court this morning. 58-year-old Lou Jefferson faces a charge of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of 30-year-old Amanda Woods. Police say it was Madison's first homicide of the year. Jefferson is currently being held in the Dane County Jail on a $1 million bond. His preliminary hearing is set for 8:30 this morning.
Police in DeForest say a teenager broke into a home over the weekend and sexually assaulted a toddler. 17-year-old Eduardo Munez Salinas was arrested after he admitted to walking through the front door of a home and crawling into a crib with a 2-year-old girl before assaulting her. Police say he also performed a sex act on a neighbor's front porch. Munez Salinas is being tried as an adult.
A Milwaukee high school teacher is facing felony counts of human trafficking and second-degree sexual assault. Christian Mothershead allegedly brought a woman and her child from the Philippines to live with him in the U.S. The criminal complaint says once they made it to the States, they were treated like servants. MPS says Mothershead has been placed on unpaid leave. If convicted, he faces up to 90 years in prison.
And on this Friday Eve, we start with some fog across southern Wisconsin. Visibility still low through the Wisconsin River Valley, now dropping less than a mile in Juneau and Watertown as well. Sunshine will take care of that fog, though, by mid-morning today. We're looking at highs climbing into the mid-70s, thanks to that sun as well as a southerly wind.
Thank you, Hattie. Hurricane Dorian is slowly making its way up the southeastern U.S. coast this morning after strengthening to a Category 3 storm overnight. Areas in South Carolina are already experiencing some flooding. While Florida has largely been spared, millions could still be severely impacted from Georgia to Virginia. In the Bahamas, 20 people are now confirmed dead as a result of the storm.
United Airlines says it will let passengers avoid flying on the Boeing 737 MAX jets once it starts using the jets again. The planes have been grounded since March following 2 fatal crashes. Passengers afraid to fly on the plane will be able to rebook flights on a different aircraft for free. Southwest is offering a similar deal. Boeing hopes to have the 737 MAX cleared to fly again by early next month.
One body is still missing from the sunken wreckage off Santa Cruz Island. Authorities say a fire above the deck blocked the only stairway and emergency exit hatch, trapping and killing the passengers and crew members who were sleeping below deck. A marine biologist from Sheboygan County is one of the victims.
Tonight, Madisonians have a chance to check out the city's latest plans for its upcoming public market, which, once completed, will attract more than 500,000 people to our city every year. More than 1,000 people attended the first open house meeting this past May, and the city is once again expecting a big turnout here at the municipal building. At tonight's meeting, we'll get a first look at the mix and layout of merchants at the market, which we exclusively revealed to you earlier on our morning show. City staff will also give an update on how you can get to that new market at 200 North 1st Street in the city's soon-to-be empty Fleet Services building. If you go to the meeting, which starts at 6 o'clock tonight, you'll see poster-sized images of these plans and have a chance to get your questions answered. The Madison Public Market is on track to open 2 years from now in the fall of 2021.
Christina, thank you. Representative Mark Pocan is speaking out against the president for his ongoing trade war with China. Pocan says the trade war is hurting Wisconsin farmers. On the last package of farmer assistance bills, Pocan said soybean farmers were getting 50 cents on the dollar. Dairy farmers got pennies and corn growers got only 1 cent on the dollar for their goods.
Meanwhile, the next round of trade talks between the U.S. and China are apparently set. China's Ministry of Commerce says the two sides will meet in Washington in early October. It'll be the 13th round of negotiations. The U.S. is set to increase tariffs from 25% to 30% on $250 billion in Chinese imports next month.
The city of Beloit will take steps to limit vaping starting next week. Under an ordinance passed at Tuesday night city council meeting, as of next Wednesday, vaping will no longer be allowed at restaurants or anywhere else smoking isn't allowed. In addition, minors caught with vapes will be fined $50.
The NFL season kicks off tonight with the league's oldest rivalry. The Packers will be looking to take back the NFC North from the Bears and make the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Meanwhile, the Bears are looking for another strong season after going 12-4 last year. The News 3 Now sports team will have coverage all day. Kickoff is set for 7:20 tonight.
6:56. Let's turn it over to Jason Stone with a final look at your first alert traffic. Hi, Jason.
Hello. Traffic increasing on the westbound Beltline at Stoughton Road through Monona Drive. Otherwise, drivers are at or near the posted speed limit on all lanes of the Beltline. And John Nolan is moving steady without any issues. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Thanks, Jason.
And Hattie, looking pretty gorgeous out there.
It definitely is. A beautiful start to the day. Take a live look from the Edgewater Skycam this morning out over Lake Mendota. Clear skies early today. Grab those sunglasses as you head out the door. It is chilly though as well. Temperatures have dropped into the 40s here in Madison. Double climbed highs in the 70s, about 10 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. There is an outside chance for a little bit of rain overnight tonight. Otherwise, temperatures stay in the 70s at least through Saturday.
Not too shabby. All right, Hattie, thank you. And stay with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning when it's finally Friday. Go make it a great day.